What's going on, guys? Today's Friday, so I'm coming at you with another Attack on Titan video. I know people are maybe getting a little sick of them. I think it is the most I've done on any show besides One Piece. I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking about it. I think I only made 2 Naruto ones, if even that. So, yeah, I think Attack on Titan is pretty much the biggest one, which is kind of strange since it gets the least views on this entire channel. But you know what? That's not my problem. Everyone should be watching Attack on Titan. Everyone should be reading Attack on Titan because it is one of the greatest stories I've ever seen. And I have a very interesting theory here that I've come up with all by myself. I've looked around for this. I haven't seen anything on it. So I'm going to see what you guys think about this. So I'm going to be talking about the Ackermans and the untapped potential that we are aware they have. And I guess we could also include the Asians in on this, but they're not necessarily as important. But what we know about these two so far is that they are not affected by the whole mind warping thing where they erase people's memories. Now, I don't really know what they mean by Asian, okay, because that's obviously a pretty general term. Maybe it's just a matter of translation, and that's what we got in English. But it's referred to as the Ackerman clan, and as we've seen, there's only very few of these Ackermans. But then we have how Mikasa and her mother are Asian. And to what extent, I don't know. At first, I thought it was like the Asian clan because I didn't realize that the story is supposed to be taking place on Earth. But I don't know, now we have, the other Asian, Kiyomi, I believe her name is, and Marley, so I'm thinking it is the race, just how it is on Earth. So besides not being able to be affected by the memory loss, something we know about the Ackerman clan is that they have some weird ability to unlock, ridiculous amounts of potential, okay? We've seen Mikasa do it. We haven't seen it, but we've heard about Levi and Kenny doing it. Actually, that's where we really first heard about this, when Kenny was explaining to Levi, he was like, did you ever have, some crazy time where you felt like everything came together and you could do anything? And he was like, oh, yeah. And then Mikasa was also like, oh, yeah, me too. Pretty much something like that's how it went down. All three of them are completely aware that there was some point in their life that they felt way more powerful, they could do anything they wanted. And as we can see, they can pretty much do whatever they want. They are complete monsters. They're very scary. Even Zeke said he never wants to meet them again, despite being the formidable Beast Titan. He was completely destroyed by Levi. Now, I'm not here to give you a history lesson, okay? I already know that anyone who is here is already aware of all this. They've already read this, okay? I don't need to explain it to you. But there is some important stuff going on here, okay? Because something that Zeke said is that the Ackerman clan is a byproduct of Titan science, okay? So now, what does that mean? He didn't go into any more detail after that, so we can only infer. But I think I have a few good ideas here, okay? So for one thing, we already know that, like I just said, we all know, that you cannot have your mind warp if you're an Ackerman as well as an Asian. Mikasa being both of them, I don't think really makes a difference since all the other Ackermans don't get their minds warped either. But that's not what's so important here, okay? Something else he says is a direct line from the manga. There is the line once thought to exist only in legends told by the royal family, okay? So I think it's fair to assume that they are somehow related to the royal family, especially since their minds don't get erased. Now, while I don't think that they are the true royal family or anything stupid like that, I think they might have all of the abilities that they have and maybe even a little bit more. Maybe they can't be shifters or something. I would have to assume there's some kind of drawback. I don't know. But I think they pretty much have all the key abilities that the royal family does and then whatever else they get because they're Ackermans, they're complete animals. And I have a lot of reason for saying this. So this all goes back to episode or chapter Scream, okay? It's titled the same way when Eren first shows that he's able to some degree control the Titans, okay? So now what we know is the first time he does it, he punches Dina Fritz. And we're supposed to assume that the reason he was able to control the Titans at this point is because he was making contact with a member of the royal family. It's really not even an assumption. I mean, all this time, he's pretty much shown the same degree of hostility towards the Titans. He's yelled at them the same way as he did in this scene. And then he punches Dina, and a second later, boom, a Titan comes out of nowhere, starts attacking, and then they all start come attacking. We're supposed to assume that he was able to use the coordinate because of him making contact with a member of the royal family. And he was saying how that he was going to have to either, eat Historia, or, a lot of people had the idea, oh, maybe they're just going to hold hands the whole time, I mean, that seems pretty stupid, obviously, but that would potentially work. And while a lot of people do think that he might just not have to use the coordinate ability, maybe he never will learn it, for one thing, that's ridiculous, okay? It's like supposed to be the most powerful of all the Titan abilities. It's like the coolest thing we've seen so far. This guy does not come up with an ability like this and not use it in his own story, okay? That's just not gonna happen. Not to mention, okay, when Reiner and Eren were talking in the basement, he was saying, like, oh, he's talking about me. Maybe I'm going to kill everyone. Maybe I'm going to destroy the whole world. And of course, that doesn't mean necessarily he can. Maybe he is just trying to scare Reiner. Maybe he's just being an asshole trying to get revenge on Reiner. But I don't know. I think that after the time skip, he does in fact have the ability to use the coordinate. And I think there's a special way he might be able to do this. So another important thing that a lot of people seem to have overlooked is after he takes down Dina, after he uses the coordinate for the first time and all the Titans kill Dina and eat her, he then is running away, piggybacking Mikasa, okay? Running away, and Mikasa looks back and is like, why are they eating it? Like, this is strange. And then Reiner and Bertolt start charging towards them, okay? We all remember this. And Eren just stops and says, like, get the hell away from me, I'm gonna kill you. And then the great part happens again where he uses the coordinate and boom, the Titans go after Reiner and Bertolt, alright? And, you know, a lot of people just seem to have overlooked this. Like, oh yeah, he can just use the coordinate now. But no, it's been made pretty clear at this point that you have to have either, like, royal blood or be touching one to some extent. Like, that's why people came up with the idea of maybe he could hold hands with Historia or something. But hang on, okay? He was giving Mikasa a piggyback. They were touching each other, and like I've been saying, I think that maybe the Ackermans do have all of the abilities of the royal family, or something to that degree. And now a lot of people are like, okay, well, even if this is true, doesn't that mean he's just gonna have to hold hands with Mikasa the entire time? Okay, I could see how that'd be, but we all know that that's not gonna happen, alright? If anyone's gonna be holding hands, it would in fact be Eren and Historia. Mikasa needs to be on the front lines murdering people and Titans all the time, because that's what she's a monster at. But think of it this way, okay? Mikasa throughout the entire story, of course, as we all know, has always been shown to protect Eren at all costs. That's her top priority. Nothing else really matters if Eren's in danger, okay? What if, in this war that they're now declaring, obviously, you know, a lot of people are just assuming that the 104th Squad, the Survey Corps, the Waldians are just hiding in the shadows. They're all going to come out now that Eren has come out and is starting to kill people. We're assuming they're all going to show up, okay? Mikasa's probably there. She's probably, like, right nearby. So what if, like, just the basic formation they have is, like, Mikasa just sits on Eren's head? Okay, I mean, that's, of course, in this world, not a difficult thing to do. And she would not be opposed to guarding Eren at all times, just be in charge of keeping him alive, because Eren's going to be in some serious danger here, okay? They are in an advanced civilization. In the world that they are in, it is no longer difficult for them to actually take down shifters. I mean, it's not easy, especially when they use them strategically like we've seen Marley capable of doing. But there are weapons, just like in the world we are now, that can actually pierce through Reiner's armor very easily. And the other Titans are just like a complete joke. So, I mean, you have to assume, of course, Marley has these kind of weapons too. They are not really afraid of the warriors rebelling or anything. So what exactly do the Waldians have? What kind of weapons do they have in this war? Shouldn't Eren be able to be taken down quite easily? I mean, you have to consider that Willie wanted to draw them in. He pretty much was willing to sacrifice himself because he wanted war to be declared in this exact place. So they have to be ready for war to some extent. And I think Eren and all of the Waldians are smart enough to know that. So I think that, you know, he's going to have to be on the defense. Well, not necessarily. He's going to want to go on offense the entire time because this is Eren we're talking about, even though he's a lot different than we've seen recently. If Mikasa's just sitting on his head, defending against anything coming in, you know, whether it's just Marley and soldiers or other warriors, I mean, she could probably take down any of the warriors. You know, she couldn't do anything to Reiner, of course, because he had armor all over him, but she's never really had much of a problem against any other warrior. Even Annie, she pretty much beat. And Annie was pretty much like the best person, like, she was the #1 warrior to be taking down someone like Mikasa, because for one thing, she was just like the most all-around, okay? She was supposed to be a fighter, but even more so, she actually had experience with the 3D maneuvering gear. She actually knew how to deal with that, where these other warriors have never seen before. Even Zeke was like, I never want to see one of the Ackermans again after that 3D maneuvering gear and just their ridiculous abilities. So yeah, I don't really think there's too much to say here. I mean, that's pretty much all the ideas I got, you know? The Ackermans are byproducts of Titan science, okay? They have the special abilities we've seen so far, and I think they might have a few more up their sleeve, since, as we've seen, while Eren was making contact with Mikasa, he was able to use the coordinate, one of the only 2 times that he was able to do it. So, I think that's what's going on here, okay? I mean, I'm pretty excited for Chapter 101. We might even find it out as soon as then, since time moves really fast in this series, okay? This is not like One Piece where we have to wait 3 chapters for 5 seconds to go by, okay? That's what it was like for that one part where they jump out of the cake. That was just insane. So, it's not like that. I think we're going to get a lot of action in the next chapter for sure. We might even see something about this. We might get to see him use the coordinate. I'm hyped. I'm sure everyone else following the series is just as hyped. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to leave me a comment letting me know what you think about this theory. I think it's pretty reasonable. Maybe I'm just an idiot, you know, maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. I think it's pretty reasonable, really. Like, there's a decent amount of evidence provided here. There's got to be something going on with the Ackermans at least, since they are byproducts of Titan science. Like, you can't just say that and not have that mean something, you know? That's something important. But yeah, leave me a comment letting me know. Leave me a comment letting me know any other ideas, anything you want to talk about Attack on Titan or any other anime, really. I don't care. It's all good. I hope you guys have an excellent day, a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys on Sunday.